Hey everyone, welcome back to the Master of the Wind Let's Play. And this time I'm not alone. I've got my younger brother here, also known as Finley Fan, for those who frequented Master of the Wind forums back in the day. Welcome.
Alright, how's it going, guys? Just so you know, when I'm talking, I'll probably call Volrath Rob and Artbane Mark. I think Rob's done that already, so it shouldn't come as a surprise, but just in case you don't know the names.
Here's our man Finley. Get away from my shit!
So this is probably a good time to talk about, I guess, my minor role in this project. When it first started, I was 15, and so I kind of thought that it was an equal three-person project, and I thought I had a similar role to Rob and Mark. But the problem is I'm not talented like they are, as I don't really have anything to offer. Well, Saad kind of became Rob's character. Stoic became Mark's character. But fortunately, Finley kind of became mine, and my idea for him was kind of be like a rich asshole as he appears in Arc 1, because there's a kid up the street whose last name was Finley, who was a real dick. Hence Finley's character. So now, of course, he's become the most likable character in the game. So that's just a straight testament to Rob's writing. But yeah, he was supposed to be an asshole.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to be kind of obnoxious, I think. I don't know if we had him... Were we thinking of him as just like a douche, like a hateable kind of guy? Because he's hard to hate, even when he's being really annoying.
Yeah, I guess not, because he's in your party. You don't want someone in your party who you're just like trying to, you don't want to talk to him, you don't want to hear his dialogue. So maybe it wasn't totally hateable, but definitely like an entitled asshole.
Oh, that lovely word. Oh yeah, so we're about to start the Terr Mountain dungeon, which should comprise most of this video, I think. Oh, just want to jump over that pole. You know, the reason why it's set up like that is because the way the tile set is, it was hard to like direct people into just stepping on the right tile to go in there. I can't. It's been a while since I've worked with the XP tile sets. I'm having a hard time enunciating. But it was, those posts there were basically to get you into the right spots. You go into the tent without like wandering around in front of it, wondering like, where do I step?
Part of character in these games is some of the wonky stuff you have to do to get to deal with the RM, the RMXP stuff, like that dude who walked into Stoic in the last one, who just walked through him like that. I mean, that stuff's funny, come on.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it sometimes makes me want to cringe because it's screwing up my scene, but it's funny. Is there a... I can't remember if there's a smithy in here.
There must be, right?
Yeah, you think so, but I don't know. Actually, now that I remember it, they may not introduce that even until Arc 2, so it doesn't matter. And here's Morius and Douglas. Now let's talk a little about these guys. Morius was named after my character in World of Warcraft. I had a Night Elf Hunter. And of course Douglas was the pet, the tiger that I, lured over, and he helped me fight guys. I probably wasn't the best fit for World of Warcraft. I'm pretty solitary with video games, unless it's something like, more cooperative, like Rock Band is the sort of ideal multiplayer experience for me. But not so much the MMO thing. I don't know. I don't really get addicted either. I don't really seem to have that trait. So
yeah, I was gonna say that's the biggest barrier to World of Warcraft for you. I would say, just because you didn't have the 16 hours a day to devote to grinding and stuff.
Yeah, not even in college. I was sitting around on my ass making clean slate most of the time. Oh, you know what? I want to bring this up too. The Tusken Commander. Every now and then I get a question saying, what race is the Tusken Commander?
No, that's a good point.
Because, Master of the Wind, the races are pretty defined. So, the Tusken Commander is actually a crossbreed. He's part Kobold, which is why, he's sort of hanging out with the tribes. But he's also Minotaur, I believe, is the other half. As you can see from his feet there, he's got the hooves.
And so is he sitting out in Terr Mountains by himself because of some, like, post-Gallian racism for crossbreeds or something?
Post-Gallian. I don't know. I mean, there's more than one of them, because they're sort of swarming around this dungeon. So I think, he's got the title commander for whatever reason. I guess he's just the commander of this little squad. But I think Tusken would be like the proper name for that breed.
Plus, we were in Tuscany when a lot of this game was conceived.
I don't think that was. I think it was Margaret named that. So
oh, okay.
I don't think that had. He's got tusks. I'm pretty sure that's what that came from.
Oh yeah, that's probably makes more sense.
But it was, you know, you imagine crossbreeds would come up every so often, but sometimes it's hard to do them without being like silly. You know, like you see all these like fucking fan fiction where it's like, I'm a half devil, half vampire or whatever. It's just like, shut up. But
I like to see an elf kobold or something, like
Yeah.
have Bubba get with an elf or something. It could be a
Exactly.
side game.
That'd be one of those things that would just, art-wise, that'd be like, how, where do you even start with that?
Alarm head.
But there's a, you know, I think it's noted in Clean Slate, or maybe in this game at some point, that because griffins are naturally inclined towards transformation magic, and they got used to taking on the form of a human to hide from Galleon, there's a lot of human griffin crossbreeds out there.
That's pretty cool.
Because
That makes sense.
they spend so much time disguised as people.
Yeah.
Alright, so this dungeon went through a few changes pretty early. I know Mark doesn't necessarily consider it his greatest work. It's more about searching for like treasure and stuff than.
And who
doing
mapped
puzzles.
this? You or him?
He did the outside.
Okay. Because I think it's pretty. It's a nice looking dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, I like it too. It's a little, you know, it's hard to do like a mountain in like a two-dimensional.
Oh yeah, you can't get the the grandeur.
Yeah, it's hard to do that right. But the first version of this dungeon, back in the old demo we put out in '05, had no interiors. And I think this whole bottom section that we're wandering around now wasn't even like in it. I think we had to increase the size of the map to accommodate it. And so when we sort of went over it again after that first release, we thought that this dungeon could use a little bit of extra content, especially in comparison to you know, the church and everything.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
enormous. So I went and did the interiors. I was working on something else. Here's a little rather infamous bit of dialogue. So basically they're saying rich people are scum. That's the line. We're going to talk plenty about that next time, that whole thing, once we get to Arc 2. But that line is rather infamous.
People are scum. Yeah, Stoic's not known for subtlety. I guess if you live that long, you know, fuck using extra words. Just
Yeah,
say what you
exactly.
mean.
I mean, what, you know, he's not trying to be PC. But don't get your hopes up, Gamergaters. He doesn't even care for harassment either. Yeah, what was I talking about before that?
Two dungeons. Redid it.
That's right. Yeah, I did the interiors, and yeah, you know, we were really careful to like that the interiors matched like the exteriors in terms of you know, the approximate size.
Yep.
So it's not like, you know, you've got this little ass cave and all of a sudden a giant open room. I think the only room like that is the Whack Cobalt room, which is, you know, by necessity. So I was very careful that the you know, the tiles on the map where you enter and exit are like the same coordinates on the interior map.
No, that's pretty cool.
As they are on the exterior map, so it's actually quite accurate. So, you know, that gave this dungeon a little more juice. You know, this probably wouldn't be cited as the best by too many players, especially with the ones that we're gonna get later on. But you know, it's fun enough.
Like I said, I think it's a nice tonal difference. You start the game in that dark ass, you know, Andau's crypt, and then you go into the church, and it's just kind of dark. And this is just like kind of a light, you know. Maurice is a funny guy. You're in the mountains. It's bright out. It's just kind of nice.
Yeah, it's very much in line with the sort of early concept of Master of the Wind I had, which I've mentioned a couple times already, which that was going to be much more like a traditional comic book with, you know, you'd have adventures, but you'd always wind up back in Port Ariana, ready for the next threat. But we just didn't stick with that. I guess it would have been hard to keep it interesting, I think.
Yeah, this almost plays like like an origin story, but that was kind of your intention, though, wasn't it? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the official origin story because, you know, they're there and they're already doing their thing.
Yeah.
It's an introduction, and I think it makes people care about Port Ariana like more than you'd be inclined to care about a starting town in a big RPG like this, I mean, most of the time they just get burned down.
Yeah, or
that's, you know,
or a big pillar gets blown up and the upper level crashes the lower level.
Yes. I could think of at least one game where that happened. Although you spend a lot of time in Midgard too, come to think of it.
Yeah. Speaking of gross, yeah, when you step out into the open world in that game and it's all green and bright and it's like, oh man, no more fucking Midgard finally. It's like the best feeling of all time.
Is there anything over here?
No, it's the Tusken Commander.
Another Tusken Commander.
And you tried to run and it didn't work.
Fucking A. So she's faster than these guys.
Yeah,
Carrying around these giant weapons. There we go. Need those sneakers. I think this is the shop.
Okay, cool.
Let's go to Superior Store.
Alright, you want me to talk about that or you want to talk about that?
Let's get the Sonic sneakers first. You say no, then you get out of there. Yeah, you go ahead and tell them about the Superior Store or the Superior Restaurant.
Yeah, the story it's pretty funny, I guess. Rob, Mark, and I all went to Toronto to see Nightwish a long time ago, back when their original singer was in the band, which is a pretty big deal because apparently that show's one where she actually got kicked out when they got a new singer.
Right. Yeah, that was the last show with her. So we were there.
It's pretty historic. So we were in Toronto for that.
Although it's a little sad to think that like they gave such a great show and they were like hating each other.
Yeah, no, that is kind of
while that was going on.
Yeah, we had no idea, so I guess it speaks to how good they were. But we were looking for stuff to eat, and Rob and Mark were in college, and I was like 14, so we didn't have a lot of money. And we were just walking down the street in the middle of Toronto called Yonge Street. It's like the biggest street ever. It had everything on it, and we were looking for a restaurant. We saw one that was just called the Superior Restaurant, and that's all I had to say.
I think it just said the word superior, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it might have.
And then we had to like just look in and see like, oh, it's a restaurant. It's like, geez, what's so superior about it?
Yeah, they're so full of themselves. And then we ended up going to some other place where I ended up breaking a glass of water or something. Something stupid.
It was an accident.
Yeah, we left without paying a tip because they had like a 15% Canada tax or something.
Oh, I know. They nail you for food in Canada. I mean, any Canadians watching this are probably used to it, but every time I go there, I'm kind of taken aback by that. It's like, oh shit, we had like another $15 on you.
But if one of us slipped and broke something, we would have gotten care, no questions asked. I think, don't fact check that because I actually don't know.
Well, they probably would have asked some questions, but it wouldn't have been like, dick questions like, are you sure you can't get up?
Yeah, is this pre-existing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't, obviously wouldn't mind paying taxes for healthcare instead of like war and hand grenades in every Starbucks.
Yes,
indeed. Anyway, so Superior Restaurant. Actually, I think those are Superior Restaurants in X Noir too.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it shows up. I'm gonna have to put it in Legacy now.
Superior Restaurant.
Consistent. Okay, so it looks like we're done with like the bottom half of the screen, more or less. So now we're gonna start to ascend this mighty mountain.
Oh, it's just this guy. Yeah. Fuck him up.
Well, what you can do is he calls his
his boys.
Guys,
oh yeah.
And one squall takes them out. So it's pretty good for experience. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, look at that shit. That was a beatdown.
He's spiraling shank on you though.
Yeah, I'll spiral your shank.
Alright. More dynamite.
Yeah, dynamite's fun. Just blowing things up has a crude appeal.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I can't remember where we go first. I guess we just jump some rocks. There's a lot of some things like a lot of jumping. It's an easy puzzle to make if you can even call it that.
Yeah, it's like me and my
thank God for those Sonic sneakers. I'm getting away from like all the battles.
My shitty RPG Maker puzzles was like, you have a two-tile object where the top tile you can walk through and the bottom one you can't, and I'd arrange it so it was hard to tell where the top tile was, and you had to just walk around until you eventually found the right way through all the top tiles of these objects.
I'm pretty sure I did a homage to that in Clean Slate.
Yeah, all my shitty... Oh yeah, I have a long history of shitty RM2K games, which I won't get into because no one cares, but...
Well, shitty's relative. I mean, they made us laugh, so...
Yeah, I suppose.
There's definitely value.
But I think isn't either Delac or Bruce, someone from my games makes a cameo.
In this game?
I thought they did. Or maybe it was on one of your projects.
Yeah, they might. I can't remember. Oh, no, BroQuest is
oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're both in... Delac and Skiz are both in BroQuest. And so is... I don't think Bruce is, though.
Well, Bruce is actually... He's my favorite character I ever wrote.
Bruce was a skeleton.
Yeah.
Kind of like Stoic, but more like...
And
or rapper.
Rob and Mark used to voice act my games, and for some reason, you do the voice.
Oh yeah, well, the reason was because the game that we're talking about right now, he was sort of marketing it to us as my first serious game. And to underscore that, the first scene is like this, these villagers being enslaved by the undead, working at some quarry, and this little kid says he's tired, and the skeleton says, tells him to shut up, you whiny brat, and he hits him, and then the kid says, ow, and I guess because he said ow, that wasn't,
Jesus Christ.
he disobeyed the order, so he said, I said shut up. And so we gave him the Stone Cold Steve Austin voice, because that guy used to always say I said. So the whole exchange wound up being like, shut up, you whiny brat. Jesus. Ow. I said shut up.
Yeah, so my first serious game got thrown off the rails
Yes,
like the first 5 minutes.
Seriousness was never quite the same after that. Here's a little wacko Cobalt game. This was another late edition, because this doesn't have...
It's pretty funny.
I know, it's kind of funny. And it doesn't have any connection to the outside dungeon. You just sort of wander through the caves and come across it.
I just want to know why is he doing this?
Oh, well, he's, he doesn't like to fight. He says he's an intellectual.
Oh, that's right.
So, to let you through, he's making you play this game. And generally the best approach is to stay in the middle, because it's like equidistant from the other holes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I remember Mark released something on the forums a long time ago that was a harder version of this, where there were like some more holes that you could jump out of, and you had to hit them more times. And it was just for fun if you really wanted to expand your Wacka Cobalt experience.
Oh yeah, nice background.
Yeah, I used that background a lot in this game because it was really pretty. Although if I were to map this again, I don't think I'd have quite as many straight edges on the cliffs there. It just is very horizontal. I try to have a little more outcroppings, but then that gets hard with the perspective that we're using for this, because then you'd have to have the little outcropping go all the way down, or have it just sort of suspended in the air like
yeah,
this.
That's true. I see what you mean.
These little platforms that you're walking out on. Outdoor mapping is a lot harder than indoor mapping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As a rule. I remember the forest in Arc 3.
Oh, the Eagle Path music.
Yeah.
Well, it's called Eagle Path.
It's called, named after that song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, it took Mark a long time, not because of puzzles necessarily, it was just he couldn't get, the mapping to look however he was, picturing it. It just took him
more boys.
a long time. Yeah, look at this. This is
like the dream encounter, right? Because
yes.
It's easy and you get a lot of
There's
good
no
stuff.
Tuskens, because those guys take a long time to get down.
Yeah, I remember even in the first part of the game, you were talking about how you made it a lot easier. The first part, before it
This
got
was
easy.
hard.
Yeah, I remember those Tusken Commanders used to wallop me. I thought it was the boss, and then they just, and it was oh, there's another one. Fuck.
Yeah, I guess anybody with Commander in their name, you wonder that. Okay, so now we're almost to the end here. We have to get the large bomb to get past the
nice,
especially large pile of rocks. And then, so they're sailing to, I guess, do this.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, you fight them.
Yeah, here's the spring.
Yeah, I love these. I found the first spring I've ever seen in the wild.
Oh yeah? Where's that?
West Virginia.
Oh shit.
Because I went to Maryland a few months ago, not a few months ago, like a month and a half ago or something, for vacation. And I drove out to Harper's Ferry, which is a place where two rivers intersect. A lot of historical value, just American history and our history of slavery and whatnot. There's also a pretty challenging trail up a hill where you can get a really nice view of where the two rivers intersect. Although it's pretty shallow, the water there, so you can see the dirt so clearly that the water winds up looking brown in all the pictures. It's not as pretty as it could be, but
It's still nice. I remember you you showed me the photo that you took from that hike, and then if you actually Google the place, that essentially that same viewpoint is like all the photos.
Oh yeah, well that's the
It's
thing,
just,
because that's like the only spot you can get a good look at it. You walk up that huge friggin' mountain for so long, and you can't really see through the trees until the end there. But I was so tired, like, because it just went up and up and up.
Yeah, you told me it went like up and then down and then up. It's
Well,
a troll ass hike.
It trolled me because they marked the landmarks on the little national park map, and they give you the elevation.
Oh fuck! Speaking of trolls,
Oh yeah, look at this.
spoiler fun.
Oh boy,
That's what I think too.
Shut up.
Get it?
That's racist. Oh, they can't stop the rock. Remember that shit?
Yeah, you're right about the dialogue in the early part of the game just being so silly.
It is. I mean, we just weren't. If we had any thought that it would be like a multi-award-winning project, we probably would have done these parts a little differently. What is that? What's that from? Trials of the Big Rollers. There's references in here that I don't even get. The big Mark was having fun with some of this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, then I had to go up these stairs. Where the hell are all these boulders? That's a good question, dude. I just, got them stowed away.
These guys are strong too.
Yeah. That's how Jack goes. Now, what?
That's
That's from something. I know.
I think it's a Mark thing. That feels like a Mark thing.
Well, he definitely wrote that line, but I don't remember what it's referring to.
Me neither.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Harper's Ferry. So I'm climbing up that mountain. I'm tired as hell. It's super hot. It's like 100 degrees that day. And I'm not I do okay on hikes, but I don't do it regularly. I just, I got kids and stuff. It's hard. So I'm not seasoned.
Plus Connecticut's pretty flat.
Yeah, that too. And yeah, this was Appalachia. And I had 2 water bottles. I used both of them. And then you just see this little thing of trickle of water coming out of the mountain.
Did you drink some of that shit?
Oh, I would have drinking a bowl of piss at that point. It was cold. I mean, I was so thirsty. And but yeah, you just get you get a taste of that water, and it's so cold and it's so refreshing. It's like, I don't even care if I get E. coli or whatever, because
So the point is
the point is
the healing spring is not that far off from what actually happened.
It'll really heal you if you're tired out. Oh, that was just such a nice feeling. Water is underrated sometimes.
Yeah, imagine being who's that dude, Davy Jones with the hat with the raccoon tail?
Davy Crockett.
Oh, imagine
Davy Jones is the pirate.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, imagine Davy Crockett just chilling, going across Appalachia and getting tired as hell. It's hot. Being the first person to discover that spring. Oh man.
Oh, nice. We got some skills right before the boss. That's good stuff. This is a little gag here. Watch this. Yes, no, maybe. Decide, you idiot. It's just why is that even there? Just because it's funny, that's all it is. And I don't know, I think that's part of the reason why Arc 2 gets into trouble sometimes with people, because it's a
bit of a tonal shift.
Well, it is, but it's not a complete shift, and that's part of the problem. You have the social commentary about the big business coming in there, but at the same time, I'm also throwing in lines that I just think are funny.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily meant to be taken as serious commentary, but definitely from what I've read. Oh, yeah. So you remember I bought the lionfish in the last entry, or maybe the one before it, I can't remember. But that was why, because it triggers something. You throw Douglas lionfish, which is a real fish that will paralyze you if you touch it. So we've paralyzed Douglas. So you can pound on Morris for a bit.
I think I made that animation. Bone Cleave?
You did make that.
Oh, so I did contribute something else.
Yes, a few of these years.
Cool.
I think that there's at least one more. I can't remember which one, but something else you did.
Yeah. Additionally, while I'm pumping myself up, as Rob mentioned in the first Let's Play, basically any NPC that just is really, really stupid and doesn't fit, or is
But it's funny. Don't forget that part.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's probably me. I would always beg Rob, "Can I please make an NPC?" And he would say, "Okay." And then sometimes he'd keep it, sometimes not.
Well, sometimes we had to hide it like
Yeah.
that Yeti.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that'll be covered later on.
Much later. And I want to talk about the battlers too while we have a chance.
All right, yeah,
Because it was a long time before Anchor got these done, and we had this like dinky looking, RTP thing from Warriors, and this tiger we got from like Clip Art.
That's a nice battler though from Warriors.
Oh yeah, now he looks great. Anchor's is great. If you look at his crossbow, it's like a crow or something, or a raven. It's got the black feathers and stuff.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones shit.
He's very good about like details like that. Like even if you look at Morius, he's got the shoulder pads on the right shoulder there, and it's just he gives the characters all these like pouches and like emblems and stuff. And if you guys saw the World Remade costumes he was working on, that had some of the same stuff, just cool looking weapons, cool looking outfits.
Was he working full time when you guys were doing this?
Well, he was in college for some of it.
Oh, okay, that's right.
But yeah, towards the end he was working. He does like IT at some
college.
Yeah, and I haven't seen him in a while. He's a nice guy, but I just haven't seen him for a while. But yeah, I mean he did that, and he didn't rush his stuff. That's for sure.
No, that was the point I was trying to make. Like he never gave you guys something before it was ready, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you might wait, but we got it. You knew that was it. It's done, and it's good.
Yeah. Now Arc 2 was when we started to bring him in. So for a while, Arc 1 didn't have any original ballers except for the ones that Mark drew. Shroud and Stoic. I don't think I have those anywhere.
Oh wow,
I must have them somewhere.
Yeah.
And they look pretty decent. I mean, but then we got Anchors who were like, oh man, it's on now.
Yeah, I forgot that Mark was also like kind of an artist too. Because
Yeah,
I'd always think of him just as like design.
No,
but
he's a good artist.
Yeah.
I remember he made a little bit of like fan art for my games back in the day with Bullwrath. I first came to Bullwrath of it, and I thought it was like I was fucking stoked. I never had any fan art before.
Yeah, you got some really good fan art for this one.
Yes, I did. Oh my god! All right, so we beat these two punks.
Just like all of Stoic's lines are gold.
Yeah, Stoic is a funny guy, not intentionally, which makes it better. Yeah, so actually we're getting to the last scene of Arc 1 here. That's pretty good.
Oh, wow.
This is only like episode 4.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And we've cleared out Arc 1. So yeah, this is the very sort of classic superhero scene where they're introduced to the public, and it's very like it's kind of cheese intentionally, and just them giving their speeches about how they'll protect them. And if you saw that trailer that Master of the Wind fan made, the CG one, or as actually I think he goes by C4D Nerd on YouTube, but he had some of these lines read out loud, and he picked the guy he picked for Shroud was like perfect. That voice. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
The voice is perfect, but he had a hard time. He was never able to find like the perfect Stoic. He did his voice himself, which I think came out pretty good. I think he used something to deepen it too.
Yeah, he's pretty young when he did this, right? I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly how many years ago. But then he got some other guy to do it for that trailer, and it was very like, yeah, this line, "Call me Shroud," and then Shroud goes, "And I," and Stoic goes, "And I am Stoic."
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It was very. It sounded like Aslan or something.
Yeah.
A little too formal, I think. But yeah, someday we'll find the right Stoic.
Yeah, he is tough to cast.
Although Mark always did it pretty well, just in our little local sessions.
Yeah, dude. Actually, yeah, he did. I still kind of picture Mark as his voice.
And we're done. Arc 2, baby.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace.